And now we are happy to have on future Hall of Famer, former Browns left tackle Joe Thomas on the Orange and Brown Talk podcast. Joe, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, one last thing, because I know you have to go. And that is obviously huge for Doug Dieken, to retire this year. And I know what he has meant to you and just how instrumental he was. But just wondering, I mean, do you ever think about, or is that a possibility that you would ever replace him in the booth?
Yeah, I talked to Doug. I talked to people in Cleveland, and I said that would be my dream job. Unfortunately, it happens 20 weekends a year in a row. And with little kids, that's kind of the time you get to see them because they go to school during the week. And so I know that I would never be able to commit to a full schedule right now when my kids are young. But it is absolutely the most iconic color job in football, in my opinion. And I remember when I was a kid listening to Max McGee and Jim Irwin when the Packers were going to the Super Bowl, and the calls from those guys still ring in my head like it was just yesterday I heard it. And like the association with your radio broadcast and the greatness that happens on the field is ironclad. And so for me to be in retirement, to still have some relationship with the team and the fans and to be involved in those big moments would be so special. So I'm holding out hope that they'll be able to carve out like the gopher hot dog guy for me in the booth somewhere, like where I could maybe show up for a few games, make sure everybody's condiments are good on their hot dogs, maybe get them some Mission barbecue, and maybe throw my 2 cents in every now and then. But it remains to be seen. But nonetheless, that job is sparkling for whoever gets the opportunity, because obviously the role by itself, but then being able to work with Jim Donovan, the best play-by-play guy in all of football, would be special as well.
Joe, before we let you go, where can we find you?
You can find me at Twitter at Joe Thomas 73. I do a podcast mostly during the season, but we hit a few during the off season called the Tom and Hawk Football Show on Amazon Music or wherever you get your podcasts. I also work for NFL Network, so you can find me occasionally on Total Access. But my next big gig is going to be at the draft with NFL Network. We're covering live from Las Vegas, Nevada.
All right. Should be a very fun draft there.
Absolutely.
In Las Vegas. Joe, it's always great to see you. Thanks for taking the time.
My pleasure, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks, Joe.